Hello guys, today I wanted to think a little bit deeper, in a deeper sense, what is the meaning of the sign of the Scorpio in astrology. If you're looking at Scorpio, Scorpio has two rulers, and Scorpio is ruled, in modern astrology is ruled by Pluto, but in the ancient astrology is ruled by Mars. And modern astrology take Mars as a ruler of Aries. So why Pluto and Scorpio and the 8th house of the Zodiac rules over transformation? Why is the Scorpio a sign of metamorphosis? Why it represents metamorphosis, and why actually it has such a bad name in the astrological circles? So we need to first understand how evolution and how transformation and metamorphosis process is actually happening. So we can explain it in a very easy way, basically by taking as an example just a basic human relationship. If we look at the relationship, it's a union. It's a union of two people which are actually committing to live with each other, and they are committing their time to live with each other and to share their private space and time, which is priceless, to share this time together. We need to understand that whenever we talk about evolution, it's not an easy process. It's not easy to evolve, because evolution itself, it means that one form changes totally its form. Basically the form changes into something else, but it consists a piece of what was actually desired by this form. So coming back to this relationship example, if one person wants to commit to the other person, it commits to the point where we can observe the dynamic coming from Libra to Scorpio, because Scorpio rules over intimacy, and in Libra, which is 7th sign of the zodiac, we don't have yet intimacy. We still have relationships, daily, normal, mundane relationships. So when the relationship with the other person is formed, then when it is a love relationship, then the intimacy may actually happen and may develop. So intimacy means, and it's equal to being vulnerable with the other person. It's equal to being naked in front of the other person with all the problems, all the good and bad things. So whenever we commit to the relationship, we know that we come to the point in which we are very, very fragile, and we are very potent for being hurt, basically. So when you already established a bond with someone, and you are already in a relationship with the other person, we know that evolution means transformation over time, and we know that whatever is under the factor of time, it never stays forever, which means that evolution brings the end to the things which we identify with, which means in summary that it means the end of the relationship to whatever you actually desired. Either it is another person, your hobby, passion, whatever you were interested to, whatever you desired, this sooner or later will be removed from your life. And the moment when you feel emptiness, the moment when you feel that there is a hole or part of you missing after something was taken away from you, this is the moment in which we are getting emotionally stabbed by life. And we need to understand also that emotion, it is an emotional body that actually pushes this evolution machine towards progression and towards development. And thanks to emotional body, we are people that are able to evolve, basically. Scorpio is a part of water trine. It's a part of Cancer and Pisces and Scorpio, which is a water trinity. And these three signs, they represent the way how we are transforming our desires through the emotional body, and in addition we are able to find a meaning in this transition. So every time when we finish something, when we end something, every time there is a feeling that something is missing, something is just, lacking in your life. And this is actually caused by removal of the Scorpio, removal which is necessary to evolve, basically. So Pluto in evolutionary astrology rules over soul, rules over desire, that soul chosen to be actually here in this lifetime, and that's the reason for your existence. So some people, they don't believe in soul, but actually, in my opinion, soul and spirit is the reason for existence. It's the reason for the physical existence of all of us, because Pluto represents desire, and when we observe a natural law which is represented by Sagittarius archetype in Jupiter, in the natural law it's a law of cycles. So whatever starts and whatever is growing, it will have its end. So we need to understand that Pluto corresponds to the desire, to the double desire of the soul, which is to experience life, to be like this innocent kid, but at the same time to become adult and wise about life, and to understand that one day we will probably come back to our creator, to our source, to whatever created us. That's why it's a transformational planet. That's why Pluto and Scorpio means hurt and being hurt, and removal and transformation in the very, very abrupt way, which is the only way actually that evolution will find its place and find its way in the way how the life and soul wants to evolve through the emotional body, through our ego, which is Cancer archetype. Evolution and dynamic of evolution is very nicely presented in the whole Scorpio and Taurus axis, because what we have opposite of Scorpio is Taurus, and Taurus is an earth sign. It's an earth sign, and it's very receptive, which means that it's also stubborn. So whenever we are blocking evolution, we will find ourselves that we are very stubborn and very we're not flexible when the change is on the horizon. So it means that we are sticking towards to the patterns that they were always there, and they were always bringing us feeling of security, emotional security, which is only for some time. It's not permanent feeling of security, because lives go on. We have all rules of the Saturn over us. Saturn is basically ruling time, so we know that we are very potent when it comes to the physical body, and we can see that we are getting older, which means that whatever you were sticking to, whatever you thought was your comfort zone, your feeling of comfort, sooner or later it will be taken from you, just because you will have to evolve, just because you would actually you would like to evolve, and the soul wants you to evolve. So it's not really it's not like we have really a choice, to face and to fight against the evolution, because evolution in EA astrology, in evolutionary astrology taught by Jeffrey Wolf Green, evolution can happen in two ways. It can happen in the crisis way, which is just a sudden loss of something that you were identified with, or it may happen gradually. So it happens like it's storing itself. It's storing itself until one moment, over time, until one moment it just explodes and just removes whatever you were identified with. So why sign of Scorpio have such a bad reputation, and why people think that sign of Scorpio it's very it's basically very jealous, or it's very stingy. I will tell you why. It's because Scorpios are identifying itself with whoever they are in relationship with. They want to know the depths of the other person. They want to merge. They want to transform himself. Scorpio wants to transform himself by getting to the core of the other person, by just checking out with this core, by taking it and metamorphosing it. So basically, it's a little bit like a parasite, but not in a bad sense of it, because Scorpio is able to see through all the layers of conditioning, through all the problems, through all the personas, that, and also the ego of the other person. Scorpio is it's an eagle eye, so it's able to really penetrate the other person in the sense and in the way that the other person will feel like there's nothing to hide. There's nothing to hide, and very often Scorpio is very intense as well, which is too much for the other people, because if someone with a lot of Scorpio energy is around you, then this person probably will come to the point in your relationship that it will penetrate to the place where your soul basically starts, and not everyone is ready to be so vulnerable and to be able to reveal all the shadow work which was done by this person or not. That's why it's so intense. That's why it's also sometimes jealous, because Scorpios are working on this. Scorpios are working on relationships. They are committed people. They are very committed to the relationship, which means that they involve a lot of time to get to know the other person. And this is very difficult for the people that don't understand Scorpio, because it's just too intense. It just gives you, shivers sometimes, because how could you know that this Scorpio person knew all of that about you, or why is this person, this Scorpionic energy touching the things that I try to cover, that I try to hide behind, so it's very intense, it's very watery, so it's also very emotional, which means that very often emotions are hidden. We don't show our own emotions, and the emotions are represented by archetype of Cancer. So whatever Cancer is doing is hiding these emotions deep within, hiding deep inside, because Cancer archetype, it likes the home. Why it likes home? Why it likes to be behave like a mother, and to be very nurturing, because he knows that emotions are very, very fragile, and they are very, very delicate. That's why whenever you are with a Scorpio person, and you know someone with Scorpio person, this Scorpio trine to the Cancer, it will always bring you feeling that you are walking naked, around this Scorpio person, because it's just natural intensity that comes from the soul, and these people are not aware of that. These people are not aware that they are so intense. It takes a lot of practice, and it takes a lot of self-mastery to be able to control this energy, because it's coming energetically, it's not coming consciously. So whenever you say that there is a Scorpio that is like bad, or is vicious, or is like jealous or stingy, this is not without a reason. Scorpios, they have their own reasons behind this, so you need to try to understand. And if you want to commit to someone who has a lot of Scorpio energy, then it's better that you are prepared, because it's an intensive ride. So guys, it's don't blame Scorpios. They are who they are. Don't blame people that have a lot of Scorpionic energy. They are just who they are, and they are just doing their best, like everyone in the world. So just forgive them. Don't forget if they ever hurt you, but just forgive them, and I think they will also be able to to somehow get by with you, you know, get okay with you. So whenever you know the Scorpio, just, you know, hug him, just tell him that life is beautiful, you know, that it doesn't need to be intense at all times. Sometimes it can be easy and funny, and we can also have normal discussions about the weather, not only about meaning of life, meaning about soul, and, you know, like all these crazy things. So if you know any Scorpio, then give him high five, hug them, make them nice present, a gift, and just, you know, cheer them up, because they are very intensively relating to themselves and also to the other people. Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.